Looking live right now at the White House with fewer than 50 days to Election Day, billionaire Elon Musk at the center of yet another firestorm after making what he says was a joke about political violence on his social media site X, of course, formerly known as Twitter. Following the second attempted assassination on President Trump, Musk took to social media in a now deleted post musing about how no one is trying to kill President Biden or Vice President Harris. It's just the latest controversial comment from the tech entrepreneur whose growing influence on this year's election is sparking a whole lot of questions from a whole lot of people. Joining me now is political commentator and host of So What on YouTube, Chris Cillizza. Chris, it's always good to see you. I mean, you even have Republicans sounding off on this one, saying cool it. You know, like Representative Adam Kinzinger writing, what's wrong with this guy? Can someone who loves him have an intervention? I'm serious. This is off the rails. And Chris, he's now calling it a joke.
Yeah, I mean, look, a couple things. Number one, when you have 197 million Twitter or X followers and you own the platform, you got to be real careful when you're talking about political assassination in general. You really have to watch your words. You definitely can't joke about it. I mean, look, I don't have 197 million followers, and I certainly would never joke about political assassination, but I've learned that some things that I put on there that I thought were just meant to be funny, people didn't think is funny. So it feels like Elon Musk either doesn't know or doesn't care about the level of influence that he has, which doesn't excuse him, by the way. I mean, his job in some ways, his responsibility is to know that, but it's very odd. He seems to have sort of the mentality of like a not super mature 15-year-old boy who just kind of likes to pop off.
Yeah, I know he said just because I say it in a room of people who laugh doesn't mean it needs to be something that's shared with the masses. But, you know, Chris, he's all of a sudden taken a huge interest in Trump. I mean, basically offered up his interest in services and being a cabinet member, essentially. Tweets about it dozens of times a day. What do you make of it, and what do you think his end game is?
Well, it's strange, Markie, because he wasn't super political in 2020 or 2016. You know, I mean, he's been a well-known figure for a long time. I don't totally understand where he's headed, other than he appears to be reacting against what he believes to be a sort of woke culture, that people are, the political correctness police are out, and that he's always been kind of a different kind of cat. He's always been a different dude, and he sort of thinks that people are trying to silence people like him. I think that there is a broader issue here than just like a bad tweet from Elon Musk, which is if the guy who owns the public square where the day-to-day stories of politics, whether it's political journalists or people who are in politics, they're still very much on X. It's not everybody, but that conversation forms there. If the guy who owns that town square and controls how that town square works is clearly favoring one of the two candidates for president, I think that does raise some questions about sort of, you know, conflicts of interest and ethics there.
Sure. Yeah, he's certainly the sheriff in town when it comes to X. I'll be having Trump spokeswoman Caroline Levitt on a little bit later to see if, you know, what she thinks the end game is, if they know something that we don't behind the scenes. Chris Cillizza, always good to have you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.